What is up, folks? This is Ericast, and welcome back to Infinity Minecraft. Alright, so we've got a few things to cover before we get started here. This is one of them. It's a water tank, by the way. I'm planning on making streams and waterfalls and lakes and stuff like that. That is a random snow block that popped up. It's the coating, so it's not, actual block of snow. But I don't know how that got there. Usually that'll only form if there's an opening to the outside, like right next to it. But that's still decently far up. I mean, that's probably 32 blocks. Um, so I don't know. Don't know. But yeah, I can drop down there and show you guys what it looks like. But I've talked about doing this for a while and finally got around to doing it. So it's nothing too special at the moment. I want to put some trees in. Oh, that's another thing I'll talk about. But yeah, so I kind of like the way it looks. It was a decent amount of work, but I basically had the areas set up that I wanted. I just needed to go into the foundation. Yeah, I know there's not grass there. That's actually going to be water anyway, so it's going to be like a pool, and it's going to be flowing down. So, um, but yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. Still not quite sure. I mean, this is a really pretty color, but I don't know if I'm totally happy with the color. These trees don't grow. I think I've actually tried this in the past, and they didn't grow. I use bone meal on them, but I was hoping they would actually just grow by themselves. It's the dark oak is what that is. Slimes are being annoying. Not as annoying as they were in our first home, but I imagine this is still going to be a problem. I don't know if there's a way I can change that or not. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on visually. So, you've probably noticed there's been a couple drops down to, no frames per second, basically. Or one. I don't know if there can actually be 0 frames per second, because if it's frozen into a specific frame that it's already shown, is that really no frames? Because you're seeing something. Whatever. Anyway, so I updated to the latest version of the pack. And ever since then, I've been having these drops every like 30 seconds down to no frames. And it's been driving me nuts. I took out all the different mods one by one that I had added to the pack, which actually at this point is only 3. I've got Optifine running, I have Z-Tones, and I have Minecraft Comes Alive, so MCA. Now, I took those out one by one to see if they were the problem, and of course reactivated them in between, which is a bit of a pain in the butt considering how long the mod pack takes to load. It didn't seem to be any of those problems, and actually I deactivated all of them, and it didn't seem to help any. So that was a little frustrating. It doesn't seem to be happening around this, which is what I thought might be the problem. I don't know what the problem is. All I know is it's extremely frustrating. I did have that problem that would happen, like every 15 minutes ago, or every 15 minutes, and that was really frustrating. But now it's happening more often, and I'm like, I thought it might be something else running on my computer. Doesn't seem to be the case. So I don't know if this is happening to other people, but if you guys know of any solutions, I'd be super grateful, because I know it doesn't make for the best viewing experience, and that's really what I want to give you guys. Like, if it was just happening to me and I was playing on my own, I could probably deal with it. But it seems to be happening, well, I mean, I'm recording, and I don't want you guys to have to deal with it too, so. I don't know. Still need to finish this place off. But we need to make a tank for the experience. Yeah, see, there we go again. And I think that's probably what we're going to work on in this video. But there is another thing that well, a couple things, but they're related, that I've been working on. So I have a bunch of wool now. That's not wool, that's marble. So we've got about 2,800 wool, which isn't bad. I've thought about shutting it down, but I decided just leave it going. It's not hurting anything. Um, I've also changed a bunch of these cables to dense cable now that we have plenty of wool set up. So I've got a dense cable running along here, and I set up 2 more molecular assemblers. And also, actually I don't know if we're going to get to the tank in this episode now that I think about it, because there's something else I want to do. I've got a dense cable running down here so that I can set up some stuff with machinery. That's actually not necessarily what we're going to be working with in this episode, so leave you guessing here. I fixed this problem back here, so we've got, as soon as I put in this dense cable, it wasn't a problem. So yeah, we've got plenty of channels coming around, and I can always and will expand this to add more ME controllers. That way I can have more channels, because there's only so many sides to it. I don't have one coming out of the top at the moment. See, that's really annoying, isn't it? I hope that's okay with you guys. I thought about not recording at all, but I've had so many gaps in the past in recording this series that I really didn't want to make another one and wait until this, problem was fixed. But we're just going to have to see how it goes. Alright, so what is it that I am going to do? Well, it takes a second to pop up there. I'm not sure how I ended up with slash. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this. Game mode set to expert. Okay. Well, the world didn't explode. I guess that's a good thing. Right? Does it take like 50 logs now to make an oak? Really? Well, that's... I was joking. Seriously, I was just joking. But apparently, an oak log only makes 2. Okay, so this is actually going to be a bit of an issue for me. I have a lot of patterns. I doubt many, if any, of them are going to work. This pattern, oh, actually it adjusted. I wonder if some of the other ones did too. Okay, so it's going to tell me what patterns are invalid, which actually isn't that many. I expected more. I don't know what these are, but okay. So all these patterns are still valid, but these aren't. Now the question is, I'm going to stick with this for a while, so I guess I'll go ahead and just take all these and turn them into blank patterns. My frame rate's really dropped. I'm not sure why, though. So it's really strange. Like, I should be getting a lot better frame rate, but I'm not, and I have no idea why. Alright, so let's go ahead and make these guys into blanks. That way I can use them. I just need to figure out exactly why or what I'm making go away. Maybe should have taken a screenshot. I'm sure I'll soon enough figure out exactly what all this is, though. Okay. Actually, you know what? I think I know what it is. That's not the screen I need to be looking at. Okay, so those were my generators. The different version of lava generators. And actually, I'm kind of surprised these solar panels are still intact. It's interesting. I'm wondering what else has been changed. What's this? Huh. Okay, so we're going to find out together, of course, and figure out exactly what's going on here. Alright, so I guess the best way to do it is to just continue on like normal. And as we go, we'll find out exactly how difficult this is going to be. Alright, so the good thing is, well, for us, we've already got a good amount of machinery set up. So we at least have a basis to jumpstart from, right? One thing I really want to get going is ore processing, but I'm going to need some mob essence to get going with the setup that I want. I've got a lot of different ores here, and I want to make use of them. So let's go ahead and make a tank. So I've got this set up to the wrong... Yeah, I don't want it synchronized. Let's just do, I guess, standard. So we'll type in tank. Alright, so what we're going to want to be using is the railcraft tanks. And we're going to be wanting to use steel. Do I have enough steel is the question. Doesn't really look like it. Maybe I'll just go for iron at the moment and upgrade to steel later. That sounds fine. Because I'm sure if, yeah, we've got a decent amount of iron here. And of course we can make plenty more. So that's not going to be an issue. Alright, so unless there's only steel tanks now, which I'm not seeing the iron one, so... Oh, there's an iron tank wall. And there's the steel. Okay, so what we're going to need is a bunch of this kind of stuff. Alright, so... Oh, right. I forgot about this. Okay, so... It doesn't like showing you what you want to actually see, but this is what we're going to want to see. So we're going to need to make these iron plates, and we're going to be needing to make a bunch of them. Okay, and a rolling machine, that shouldn't be too bad. We're also going to need to make some of these. So we're going to need more iron plates and more glass panes. Alright, so we've got the glass pane recipe in here, right? Oh, there's that drop again. Yes. There's our glass pane. Okay, good. Now, let's go ahead. You know, it's not really gonna... No, that's fine. Although, I don't know that it's actually necessary. We're gonna need a bunch of these panes. How about we just make a bunch? Okay, but we're going to need them later. We don't need them right this second. So we're going to need a rolling machine. I'm pretty sure I don't have one, but let's check. Oh, do I? Rolling machine. Hey, look at that. Now, I was also thinking of making, like, just a random, you know, sticker right there. Okay. So if I'm going to try something. Do I have any hoppers in here? Surely I do. Okay, good. Okay, so do I have... Well, let's just get a few stacks of iron. 4 is all we need. I'm going to have to do some off-camera work here in a minute just to get it. Oh, actually, I needed... Okay, so it's going to keep the pattern. That's just the way the rolling machine works. But the question is, if I put this on top, yes, it does. Cool. So that's going to make things easier for me. Now, what I'm probably going to do... Alright, now is this going to work if I put it on the side? Oh, there's my iron. Is that going to work? Looks like it. Yeah, okay, good. So I'm going to set this up, and then... I wonder if I can set an extra hopper up to just export everything, since it's not going to automatically do it. I could... might as well do, let's see, an item duct. And do... oh. Let's say there's a servo right there, so might as well. And I'm going to need a chest. And let's go ahead and get 2 chests. And I'll do the iron later because you guys don't need to see that part. But let's go ahead and do this way. And it'd be much easier if I just did another servo on the side, which I'm probably going to do. But let's go ahead and put this here. And ignored. Are you going to start pulling out plates? Yes. Awesome. That way, I can set it up with a bunch of iron. I don't even have to pay attention to the thing. That sounds great. Alright, let's go ahead and get a bunch of iron. And actually, there's probably some other stuff I can be doing. It's got to change to dust here in a second. Yeah. No. Okay. Let's put the pulsating iron back in there. Oh, frame drop again. I think the frustrating thing about that, if it was like a visual glitch or something, it wouldn't be that big a deal, right? So the frustrating thing about it is just that I don't think that's really cool how it spreads throughout of them. It doesn't just make a stack of 64 and a stack of 64 and then, you know. But anyway, the frustrating thing about it is the fact that you lose control completely of your character, and that's annoying. Alright, it's not just, oh, that looks horrible. It's, I can't move. I can't do anything. Oh boy. And so, yeah, it's just really, really frustrating. What is connected there? Oh, it's that guy over there. Alright, so one thing that I can do in the meantime is make... thank you for the control of my character back. Is make something that we're going to need. Alright, so I've got plenty of plastic, right? I'm pretty sure. I have 8. Didn't I have a bunch more? Did I bring everything down here from up top? That's a good question. Let's go look. I'm pretty sure I did. No? Freeze. I've got some bags in here, some buckets. Might as well take these back down. Chandeliers. Oh, those are part of a different project. I don't know what those are for. We've got a bunch of tools, which I don't need. Okay. I'll just leave these up here for now. Chandelier. I am going to change the lighting pretty soon. The lighting has been really bugging me. Like, I actually do like torches, and they definitely have their place, but they don't have their place here. This is more of a, like, postmodern, you know, kind of look. So, they're a little bit of a problem. Alright, well, let's look and see what it needs for plastic. What? Rocket fuel? To make plastic? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It also needs compressed sawdust. Oh boy. Gosh. I think this is what we did previously, right? Man. Well, we've run into the expert mode, haven't we? Ah, gosh. Alright, so what does it even take to make rocket fuel? I have not ever made rocket fuel. I've seen it made. Gunpowder and redstone. Okay, so that means we're going to need some creepers. That might be fun. And hooch? What? Okay, so it's going to need these two things plus hooch. What in the heck is hooch? Hooch is water, pretty much any sort of... potatoes look pretty good in there. Okay, so we're going to have to make some farms first. I'm also going to need to find some creepers, which is going to be difficult. Not to find the creepers, but to get the soul for the creepers. And set it up in there. So we're really going to need this tank going. Okay. So I guess we could set up zombies. That would actually be kind of a funny thing to do. Set up zombies for their potatoes and rotten tomatoes or tomatoes, potatoes. But we're gonna need to set up some farms first to get. This seems a lot like a chicken and the egg sort of thing. It's like I'm gonna need this, and I'm gonna need this, and I'm gonna need this. So things like, let's just do mine fact. So the things that I'm thinking about, let's take a look at the planner. Yeah, so I'm going to need a little bit of that. It takes a flower pot. Machine frame, I don't know. Are copper gears still normal? Am I really going to have to do that? Thankfully, I think I still have a few. Okay, so that's still the same. Machine frame, I'm going to need to do an assembly table. And it's going to take forestry stuff. Oh my gosh, and it's going to... So... And this is just to automatically get plants. Alright, so let's look at forestry then. What is it going to make or take for me to get a forestry farm up and running? Because I was actually wanting to set up a few, but this is not what I was wanting to set them up for. Okay, where's all the machinery? Here we go. Alright, so... we're going to need some of this stuff in a little bit, but I'm going to look for, all right, farm hatches. Let's just take a look at the farm block. Okay, so this looks pretty normal. 10 electron tube, what are you going to take? Thermionic fabricator, all right, that was already there. Gearbox, okay, you look pretty normal. Still looking fine. Looking fine. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to have to start off with forestry, which I was planning on doing eventually. I just wasn't planning on doing it now. Goodness. Okay, liquid glass, which is... that all looks pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set up the tank, and we're going to finish this little project first. That way I can get it out of the way until we move on to the forestry stuff. Because it looks like we're going to need forestry to really be able to move anywhere at all. I could, of course, do it all by hand. But, I mean, that's not the purpose of modded Minecraft, right? Alright, so I'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll get the tank going. Alrighty, folks, so we're getting somewhere. We're not quite there yet, I don't think, but it can at least get us started and see how far we end up. Alright, so that's about 18. So let's go ahead and we're going to do the outline first. We're going to need to make several of these tanks in the long run. That's why I'm making so many of these plates. We're going to stick with iron for now because steel is something that we still just do not really have access to. At least not in the quantities that we need it. Now, I've got some steel, and I have the ability to make more, but it's a long process. Now, we also need to make something else, and I can go ahead and just throw these in there, that's fine. I need glass, which I made a bunch of panes. That's not the thing for it. Here's the iron one. Oh, it's the other way around. I always get things mixed up like that. Okay, so actually that should be plenty. I forgot it made quite that many. Thought it made about half that, but we're fine. Now, one thing that you're going to run into, and you're going to see. Alright, so these are 11.99s. You can see both of them. That's a problem when it comes to the replacement system. Actually, you know what? I don't think I have any. Nope. What are these going to cost me? Okay, nothing special. Let's go ahead and make a couple of these because it's been really annoying to go up and down, because I have to go through there, and also I'm just going to put it over here. There's also the problem that that's not going to be available to us for an infinite amount of time because I'm going to have pipes going through there. Alright. Good. And it doesn't use XP, thank goodness. I mean, I would have gone in and changed that in the config if it had needed it. Alright, so I've made this hole here. It's a 9x9 by 8, which if you take a look, it doesn't really need to be smoothed out like that, but just because I wanted to do it. If you take a look at here, it says heights 8, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it needs to be at least 4 high, which is a 2 high center container, right? And it needs to be at least 3 wide, but it can also be 5, 7, and 9. Now, I don't have everything I need for this. I need to get some... I was going to call them gauges. I was freaking out there for a second. I was like, oh no, because I thought I was hovering over the wall, and I thought I made a bunch of things that I shouldn't have. Because if I had made the valves, I think they're called valves, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, they're called valves. If I had made this many valves, I mean, could you imagine? I could never, I mean, okay. Obviously, I could make that many, but would I ever? No. I wouldn't even make that many. I'll put one here just for tradition's sake of putting the valve in the middle, or a drain in the middle. But let's go ahead and mark out the outside borders. So basically this frame that I'm making here needs to be these walls. You should not have gauges at this point. Let's make sure this is the right distance tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. It's pretty sure I measured that correctly, but I knew I'd gotten the width and length correct, but I wasn't sure. I was 100% positive that I had the rest of it. Oh, yeah, see, that's exactly the problem I was just talking about. Since they are both 11.99s, whenever one is replaced with the other, well, it causes a problem. That problem is it replaces it with whatever is an 11.99, which in this case is both the walls and the gauges, which is the glass. So how am I going to do this? I think I might just make it all walls. I'll be making a big tank chamber later on where I have row upon row of tanks being stored with different fluids, having, you know, cryothium and enderium and or liquid enderium and liquid ender, I guess. You know, everything you can think of. Of course, water, lava, But since this one's going to be in the ground, I'm just going to go ahead and use the walls. I'm not going to actually use that many gauges, even though I've just made a bunch of them. But this tank is going to be storing what we get from killing mobs. But yeah, so I'm needing a lot of these walls for that. But yeah. Trying to think how I want to do this top. Oi! Those frame drops are just driving me nuts. Thankfully, it's not a problem we're having in our Ragecraft series. Which, if you're not watching, you should. Because Ragecraft is pretty awesome. I have to say, it's actually pleasantly surprising. Like, I was expecting a good map, but the mechanics that are employed in it are really fun. There we go. Sure. Yeah, if this was going on in Ragecraft, I wouldn't play. Because in a CTM map, a second frame drop like that, like, I've actually run into it here. I was fighting a skeleton, and I got hit like 4 times in the, I was fighting him, and by the time the frame unfroze, I got hit 4 times in quick succession. So I was like, well, thankfully I have the armor I have, and thankfully this is not Ragecraft. Oh, and we fell. And you're always going to be replaced with the gauges. I don't know why, but it's always the gauges. Alright, so I'll go like this. And let's go get... Actually, I can just make them here, thankfully. Let's go ahead and hop over... Oh, right. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and make a few of these. I was going to make 8, which is fine. Do I have any? Good, I have a lever in there. I was like, I don't know if I actually have any made. It's over here. So let's hop over here. Let's jump down here. Oh. And we'll put these gauges in like so. Now these are dark enough in this texture pack that it kind of actually looks like steel and not iron. But should be able to just put that there, and yep, it turns into a tank. So you can see in Wayla up there, but let's go ahead and just right click on it. So it works like you'd think a tank usually does. You can put a bucket of something in here. It'll give you the bucket in return and put all the fluid in here. So this is going to hold... I don't remember if this is done by millibuckets or buckets, and I think it's done by buckets. So if so, that's 10,368. No. That has to be millibuckets, right? I think it's millibuckets. Because that's going to be 10 million buckets if it's if not. I could, it makes sense in your mind to have 10,000 buckets with an iron tank, but not 10 million. I'm pretty sure that's millibuckets, so we've got about 10,000 buckets. So this will be pumping down the fluid that gets built up. Oh, if you're wondering, that's a baby zombie jockey up there on a chicken. So chicken socket. Hello. So actually, do I have any built up in here? I don't think I've ever put power into it, and I think I've just killed stuff that comes out of there, right? Alright, so if I hook this up, do I have power over here? I think so. Yeah, okay, I've got power and I have my ME system. Can we fully hook that thing up? Yeah, I think... No, we'll do it next episode, because I know we're probably over time, because we were already getting close before I cut this last time. So I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. Next episode, we'll go ahead and hook everything up and turn on at least one of these spawners. and get some mob essence flowing, because I'd really love to hook up the mining system that I want, but we need some stuff. But yeah, you can start seeing these mob grinders are working. I'm kind of glad that I made all of these before I switched over. I didn't actually plan it that way, but that's just the way it worked out. Now, unfortunately, for a lot of these systems, if I want to expand them at all, then we're going to have to go through everything, which, I mean, we're going to go through everything anyway, because just to make some basic stuff that we need to make for everything else, we need to have the basics of the new expert system done. And I've got another baby zombie over here. Huh. I don't know what it is about baby zombies spawning in this area, but we might need to put some lights in here that we have turned off and on. I was actually not really planning on doing that because they're already in cages, so I was like, yeah, whatever. But if we're going to have those guys spawn all the time, it's a thought. But anyway, so that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I apologize for the frame drops. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure what that's coming from. Hopefully it's just something with the mod pack that gets worked out, because if it's on my end, I just don't know what the problem is. But if you guys have any advice, feel free to leave it in the comments. It'd be much appreciated. And yeah, so I will see you next time, and until then, hope you have a wonderful day.